Thank you for joining us at xm.com for this Forex Preview video. We'll be having a look at the Bank of England policy meeting coming up this week and the outlook for the pound. I'm Cristina Marujos. With me today is investment analyst Cristina Barthenidu. Cristina, the Bank of England has toned down its hawkish rhetoric lately, so it will be interesting to see how policymakers move forward from here. Do you think we will see a rate hike at Thursday's meeting?
Hi, Christina. It's nice to see you here. About the Bank of England's policy decision, the central bank was very clear during its previous policy meeting that it will continue raising interest rates. So I think it will keep its word and move forward with its rate hike plan, since inflation in the UK shows no pullback and is far above its target at 7% year on year. That is the highest inflation in 3 decades. Now the question here is how sharp the rate hike will be. We have seen other central banks, such as the Reserve Bank of New Zealand, acting more aggressively against inflation, delivering a 50 basis point rate hike instead. There's a group of investors who believe that the Bank of England could follow a similar strategy on Thursday, but on the other hand, the central bank has already expressed its concerns that faster rate hikes could potentially damage consumption and consequently pressure economic growth. We should also keep in mind that a real disposable income in the UK is in negative area now, and the savings rate, which soared substantially during the pandemic, is now back to pre-pandemic levels, which means that households have already spent the money they accumulated during the lockdowns. Moreover, the negative reversal on the yield curve is steeper in the UK than in the US, while the Eurozone's one is surprisingly flatter. So that reflects that fears for an economic slowdown are growing larger in the UK, even though that tool is not, of course, 100% correct in such predictions. So my predictions is for the central bank to remain compliant to its guidance for moderate rate increases and deliver a normal 25 basis points, which investors could probably consider it as a more moderate one, let's say. Now, such a rate hike would drive interest rates up to 1%, the highest is 2009, and that level is crucial in the sense that policymakers are have said that if interest rates rise to that level, they will start selling bonds. So that will be another key part of the meeting tomorrow, and it will be interesting to see if the central bank is confident enough to announce details about when and how it will start reducing its £875 billion portfolio, or if it appears more concerned about the economy, saying instead quantitative tightening is in discussion, but perhaps more data evidence is required before it proceeds with bond selling.
It remains to be seen, Cristina. Let's turn to the pound now, because it has been taking its cues from risk sentiment and, of course, moves in the stock market recently. Can the Bank of England meeting offer it any support this week?
I think the week could turn more volatile for the pound, especially against the US dollar, because the FOMC policy announcement is coming later today. More of investors are providing a 65% probability for a 25 basis point rate hike, which suggests that such an announcement is not fully priced in and could still create some volatility for the pound, perhaps a negative volatility if those who bet for a 50 basis point rate hike get disappointed and the central bank releases disappointing economic projections and postpones quantitative tightening. That scenario could add more pressure to the pound, and we may see pound dollar creating new lower lows in this case. Otherwise, if the central bank surprisingly delivers a 50 basis point rate hike to mitigate inflation, then that could boost the pound, especially if details about quantitative tightening come out as well, or policymakers say that the economy is resilient enough to absorb higher interest rates in the year ahead, then the pound could stage its next bullish round. But as we mentioned before, the FOMC rate decision is coming out later today, so we may see an earlier volatile session in the pound before the Bank of England delivers its own policy announcement.
Cristina, thank you for joining me today, and thank you for watching this Forex Preview here at xm.com.